Welcome to The Quick Fix, a series that gives you wellness tips that are founded in research and that are practical and easy to apply in your life right now. These are short episodes that focus on all aspects of wellness: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, professional, and personal. The goal is to help you and I to live lives that are healthy and soaked with meaning and purpose. So let's get going. Hello and welcome to this episode on forgiveness and anger. Well, first of all, let me be upfront and tell you that this is not a philosophy lecture. This is extremely important whether you're a coach or a leader or a family member. Forgiveness, getting angry is something that's so normal, so part of our human existence that we really need to know how to deal with it. Now, I'm not talking about getting angry at some small thing. Somebody's pushed you and they apologize and life goes on. So I'm not talking about an anger or forgiveness at that level. I'm talking about something much, much deeper. So let's start our conversation, because wherever you are in life, I think this will be helpful for the people that we work with, the people that we manage, the people that we live with, and of course, for us too. So what do I mean by anger? Most times in life, we carry anger mostly at another person because of the pain or the hurt or the betrayal or the loss that he or she has caused to us. And this loss could be in terms of time or effort or money or property or relationship, anything. And we have invested all this from our life into another life, and things have happened and there is pain because of whatever reason. And this pain for us is certainly real. And the loss that we are facing is certainly real. And most times the loss is irrevocable because we can't get back the time or the money or the relationship and so on. And therefore, this becomes a deep rooted anger in our life or in our life situation, either at somebody or just even at the way the life has treated us. And then as we nurse and churn this anger and pain, we hope that the person who has caused this to us will be stuck in some gutter or sinking in quicksand or rotting in hell. Now, unfortunately, the reality is that this person has moved on. He or she is dancing in the Maldives and having a great time. And we know this because we see it on Facebook or Instagram or however else. We are tracking this person in the hope that calamity falls on them. But sadly, no such luck. And in the meantime, the anger and the pain and the bitter emotions we keep on processing and churning. And what this does is that it activates these stress hormones that flood our body system, and it acts like a poison or an acid that eats away our healthy tissue within. In addition, because we hold on to this hurt and anger so tightly, it gets locked into our lower back or shoulder or another part of our body, causing back pain or migraine or arthritis, rash, allergies, and so many other issues. And by the way, there's strong research evidence that backs up everything that I'm saying. My point is that the only person being damaged is us, you and I. For all this anger and pain that we hold on to, we only damage ourselves. No one else. Here's what research says about the effect of this stored or unprocessed anger in our body. And I'm talking about this deep-rooted anger, about these deep-rooted things that life or people have wronged us. First thing is it ages us. Anger ages you. The anger, frustration, sadness increases the stress hormone cortisol, and this contributes to aging. Another thing that research says is that angry, bitter people have higher blood pressure and are more likely to die from heart disease, because these negative emotions instinctively keep on generating cortisol and other hormones in the body, and these high levels of these hormones just promote cardiovascular disease and ultimately high risk of stroke. Prolonged resentment can also lead to anxiety and rage that keeps on coming up on the road or at others or with ourselves, or it can lead to depression. It has a negative spillover on relationships, either with our spouse or with our children or people in our office. And then this affects our social support system because, hey, who wants to be around an angry, bitter, negative person? So why do we continue to do this? Why do we continue to hold on to this anger, which is literally eating us up within? Why are we not able to give up this anger? Why are we not able to process it? The main reason is because we are not able to forgive. And I'm not saying forgive as in just forgive, but to really to process our anger, and then as a natural extension of the processing to move towards forgiveness. And we find it hard to let go of these feelings of forgiveness because most times, we are supposed to be strong. Social stereotypes say that the ones who have not made mistakes, we are supposed to be strong. And if you forgive somebody, that means you're the loser. It means you're the one who made the mistake. And we also believe that forgiveness means weakness. And so therefore we hold on to the negative emotions that lead to this anger. You remember what I said just a minute ago about how anger releases this stress hormone cortisol, and that also contributes to aging? Well, research finds that forgiveness reduces cortisol response, and when people in the study forgave their transgressors, they reported lower cortisol responses. So this negative hormone, or this hormone which was creating havoc in their system, that sort of starts reducing. Forgiveness is also associated with fewer use of medications and less alcohol, as well as lower blood pressure and lower heart rate. So now at the head level, we all know, I must forgive. And I've forgiven. But forgiveness is easier said than done. And the first step in forgiving is to let go of the anger and hurt. To let go of the anger and hurt. I'm not saying you accept the wrong that was done against you, or you say it's all right, but you give up the right to strike back and hurt the offender. You stop this wanting revenge, wanting to hurt back. Why? Because it's for your benefit. It's for your benefit because forgiveness helps and protects your body and mind. Remember, the person who's hurt you, its chances are strong he or she is moved on in life. They're not thinking about you. They're not dwelling on what's happened. They are probably having a jolly good time. And it's only you who's churning it and hurting your body and hurting your present moment. So you learn to forgive first for yourself, for the benefits it gives you, not for the other person. And therefore, a conscious act of forgiveness can help you move on with your work and your life. And as I said earlier, forgiveness does not mean to minimize or justify the wrong that has happened or to make things as they were, but it does help you deal with the hurt and the other feelings more effectively and bring healing. So how do we move to forgiveness? And I think I forgot to mention this, but if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel. Please do pass it on and share it with people whom you work with, people who are in your family, friends, stakeholders, because this is something that affects all of us in life. And I'm sure it will be helpful to you at your level for ourselves, and also to share it with friends and family. So let's get back. So my last question was, how do we move towards forgiveness? How do we move towards forgiveness? Step 1. First, make a decision in your head at a cognitive level. It doesn't matter what you feel. Of course, you feel what you feel, and it's true, and I'm not discounting that. But first, make a decision in your head. Set an intent to do so. Set the intent to do so, to forgive. and write this intent down in your journal or diary and repeat it to yourself frequently. I am going to forgive. I have forgiven. Next step to help you let go and move towards forgiveness is to learn to breathe. Learn to breathe deeply. Each time you feel being swept away by this anger, stop. Breathe deeply for a few deep breaths. Remember your intent, and with consciousness, breathe the anger out. Breathe the anger out. Breathe these negative emotions out. Do this a few times, and as your mind and body learn to do this, you will find that the grip it has on you is beginning to loosen. Be patient and be persistent. And of course, be kind and compassionate as you struggle with this. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, the only response I have to most things is to breathe. And yeah, I just don't want to breathe. Don't you have anything else? I do. If you don't feel like breathing and doing the breathing exercise, here's another thing that's equally, if not more effective. Get up, drop down, do 10 burpees, then do 10 squats, and then do 10 pull-ups. And after you've done one round of 10, then do 9 and burpees, 9 squats and 9 pull-ups. And then move to 8 all the way till you go to 0 or to 1. Now, that also will help process all the negative emotions and give you a boost of the positive ones. You're probably thinking breathing seems a little easier, right? So let's get back to breathing. So learn to breathe. So first tip was to write the intent down and make it a conscious cognitive effort. The next is learn to breathe and use your breath to help you deal with the pain that is there in your body and the sensations that come into your body, to breathe it out. Third thing that might be very helpful is to focus on a spiritual perspective to help you learn to forgive. Whatever stream of spirituality that works for you, focus on this spiritual perspective. Look at a wider context of life. And if you can, pray for the person. Pray for the person, because that again will help you move towards forgiveness. Think about the times when you've needed to be forgiven, when you've received forgiveness, and when you've not. This might help you put your own anger in perspective and allow humility to seep in slowly. Holding on to anger is also about pride, right? It's about ego. I have been hurt. So think about some of these things. Now, despite these suggestions, what you may be going through, the anger is really, really deep-rooted. It's really deep-rooted. In this case, my sincere recommendation is that the best thing you can do is to work with a counselor or a life coach who will support you through the process that we've discussed. Most times, it's easier to move towards forgiveness when there is someone to guide us and support us on this journey. So it's worth your investment of time and money. Now, one of the first places to start forgiveness is possibly starting to forgive yourself. Starting to forgive yourself for things that you think you have done, things for which you know you have tremendous amount of regret. But typically, this is called guilt. Or it could be guilt, and the other side of guilt is shame. But I'm not going to cover this in today's episode. I just want to alert you that you may also need to work on yourself. And we'll cover this a little bit more in upcoming episodes. So I hope you have subscribed. So let's bring our episode today to a close. We've spoken about the fact that all of us as human beings are likely to hold on to anger, and deep-rooted anger at how things have happened, how someone has treated us. But this holding on to anger and processing it and churning it round the clock has tremendous negative impact on our own mental and physical health. And we've covered some steps that can help us move towards forgiveness. And the last recommendation I've said is that If you're finding it difficult to work with this on your own, to work with a coach, a life coach, or a counselor. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope that you've been able to reflect in some way. And if it has, please do drop me a note and let me know how this has helped you. See you in our next conversation. And that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Please connect with us on coachtoolbox@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to follow, subscribe, and review this channel. Details of our ICF-approved coach training programs and our services as executive coaches and coaching supervisors are on www.globalcoachtrust.org. See you in our next session.